We were able to get better yields than conventional in the first season. Not a single drop of water leaves this land. Basically, we don't have to spend any money on fertilizer because the biomass is there, and so like the soil biology is really active. We moved here about a year and a half ago, so it's quite new. And if you don't know, like in the Chiang Mai climate, we only have rain for about 2 to 3 months of the year, and about 9 months of drought. So we have no rain like at all. So we really have to design our land to take really intense rainfall during really high rainfall times. We're getting like 1,000 mm in 2 months, and sometimes like 100 mm a day.
Wow.
But then also be kind of suited to then recovering in the dry seasons. And so we use this kind of swale technique where swales are just like they're on contour. What that means is water is neither going up or down, it's kind of staying flat. And it really helps us spread the water when really heavy rainfall comes. For example, our land is kind of sloped this way. So when rainfall happens, it really wants to just take the shortest path down the mountain. But what you want is to slow the water. And so as it goes down the mountain, you're kind of creating barriers for it. And so it slows down and gives it time to sink into the land. So we kind of use these mound techniques here. We've basically built kind of like an inverse swale where we dug out to create a mound and then we plant on the mound. And so when it rains, this whole mounded area, like if you can see between this, kind of fills up with water. So we have water to like here, and it really gives it opportunity to go back into the land. And we established these trees about a year ago, and you can kind of see that, you know, we use kind of drought tolerant species, but they're already at about like 8 meters tall. So they're able to kind of get a lot of water in. And then we've planted some, you know, fruit citrus trees in the middle. We plant kind of grass species as well. And this technique is called Syntropic, where you're kind of planting a lot of mixed species. The really good reason for mixed species is they kind of shade in different intervals. So you can have one tree that will shade like 10 meters, and then in the shade you can have this like incredible pineapple or cacao. And the other kind of point is it's a really good biomass system. So we grow a lot of Napier grass that, you know, grows to like 7-8 meters tall, like we'll kind of show you over there. Before the rainy season and after the rainy season, they're really big, so we cut them down and then use them as biomass for our trees. And that helps us plant in again. The first years of establishing the system are quite tricky because for us, like we plant them and then we don't really have enough water to make sure all the trees are alive. So like some years we have really bad die-offs because there's no water or it's really hot. But then once the system kind of keeps going, it's like an infinite system almost. So what we would do is that we would come and cut all of the leaves up to like halfway point. And so that gives us a lot of biomass. And then we'll plant the fruit tree like there next year. That's given us this choice of like, basically we don't have to spend any money on fertilizer because the biomass is there. And so like the soil biology is really active. And it's digesting all these really good nutrients. It's increasing the organic matter.
So just by adding the leaves from the plants that are growing in this area and putting them down on top of the soil, that's enough.
That's right. Yeah, it's enough to really fertilize the whole system. And we do a lot of banana trees too. So we chop the whole banana trunk and lay them on top after. There's a lot of really neat tricks in this system that really help. But the really important thing is you want as many roots in one area as you can get, because the root system is what's really creating the biology and kind of providing that, you know, it's putting carbon back into the ground. So like there's this like concept of liquid carbon and like all of these really interesting techniques. And you don't really need to get into that science really. The point is just to have as many roots as you possibly can. And that's why we try to plant as intensely as possible. Some rows we're like, have moringa, we have pigeon pea, we have acacia, we have banana, pineapple, and we have the grasses. And then we do like leguminous and species and things, so it's like quite an intense system. Wow. Yeah, and the hope is to just really continue to plant it. And then the actual extra benefit is in the center of the 2 tree rows, we can actually grow field crops. So, you know, over time, we want to do a corn or a turmeric or a ginger or garlic. And so you're not just getting the advantage of having trees grown, but then you're also getting the advantage of like the kind of field crops that you're growing. And one of the disadvantages of tree farming is you lock your land in forever. But this way you have your trees growing, but you're also making your income in the short run. And so it's such a great system. Not a single drop of water leaves this land, and that's like really what you want. And in the future, we'll kind of, this place we're also going to grow grass, and then we can have our cows kind of graze through each system from the top to the bottom, just like in a loop. And you can run your chicken tractors, and it's really good if you have a homestead or any kind of system like that, because you know, like your cows will fertilize the trees with their manure, and like, you know, like the chickens will eat your weeds and all of these things. And so it's such a cool system.
Everything just gets to work together, and they all help each other
Exactly.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So this could be done anywhere in the world, right?
Definitely.
I mean,
yeah, Syntropic was made for tropical, but like really the principles are that you are very intentionally designing where the trees are, and then there are kind of added principles that you can look into as well. But like, I think the real point is, you know, like you follow the nature's principles in your own area, and then you can kind of design the animal systems to kind of coexist with that, rather than have your animals in one place and your trees in one place. Like really bring it together.
right.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't want to raise animals, you're creating all this biomass that
Exactly.
instead of using their manure,
Yeah.
this is like green manure, I
Yep.
guess you'd call it.
Definitely, yeah. It's super great, because like these like if you select the right grasses for your land, they have a lot of different nutrients. Like this grass, Napier grass, is really high in photosynthesis, so it has a lot of the nutrients that are necessary to enhance photosynthesis for your plants. So by cutting it, you're providing the correct nutrients that other plants would need to improve photosynthesis. So it's just small things that you can do to really boost your system. And it, you know, like for Napier grass, you can take a cutting and plant it again, and it comes up. So it's such an easy system, because we had like 10 Napier grass the first year, and then it became 100, and now we have like 10 acres of Napier grass.
What are these two trees?
So this is an acacia plant.
Acacia.
It's
What is that good for?
Acacia is really drought tolerant, and it's a nitrogen fixer. It's drought tolerant, and it's like one of the highest carbon sequestration trees in the world. So like after eucalyptus, this is like I think number 2. So it's not just putting down a lot of carbon and fixing your nitrogen, but it also is a prolific grower. So it can grow really like up to 10 meters a year, like in the right conditions. And one of the kind of important principles of kind of growing a forest is like in permaculture they say like forests grow on fallen forests, like, you know, so like the principle is you kind of want to establish the shade of the system and the leaves. So, you know, we have established this tree as kind of the pioneer species, which is, this land was so degraded nothing survived, so this is the only species that would pioneer this land. And then like in the summer, the leaves start dropping. So we have this like really rich leaf matter. And then, you know, like that increases the fungi and the mycelium because they decompose the leaf, and like it really kickstart the system. And then for us, right after the summer, there's the rain. So as the rain comes, it leads to like mushroom blooms, and the mushrooms then spore, and, you know, like it just really quickly regenerates the system. And so when you're establishing a system, you really want something that can do so much, like has so many different benefits. And then, you know, like then you come in with your cash trees, like your, you know, like we probably will do like durian and pomelo and all of the other kind of trees that work really well here.
You'll plant durian and these cash crops at a certain point in the system, and then you'll remove this tree, or this will always be here? Or?
This, like, we'll cut like half of them. We'll keep some of them because, you know, like this is also like a really good hardwood tea, so you can build furniture or other things from it. Initially, we'll plant the durian here, like for example, and then we'll kind of keep the banana, we'll kind of keep the acacia, and then we might plant some more. But then as the kind of durian continues to be big, then we kind of chop and drop and help the system for the durian to grow. But the really important thing at the beginning, what you want is just to shade them so they can have the room to, you know, like not have to
deal with the sun
with
and
the sun.
survive the drought.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so then, like, for us, it's like we can't afford to water each tree. Like, there's no irrigation system in our forestry system. So we have to be a bit more patient at the kind of advancements we make. I think if you have irrigation, you can plant the durian much earlier. But for us, since we don't have a lot of water, we plant it in like sequences almost, yeah.